a debate without it, right? All right. First up, in alphabetical order, please welcome to the stage Dan Eichenbaum.
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank very much the Young Americans for Liberty and Western Carolina University for hosting this discussion this evening. I also want to mention the fact that the campus Republicans are here. I had the pleasure of speaking with them a week ago at a town hall meeting. And so it's always a pleasure to speak to young people. After all, you are the future of this country. And that's why it's important for us to have the opportunity to speak with you and tell you what we have on our minds and how it might mesh with your plans for the future. My name is Dr. Dan Eichenbaum, and I'm standing up for election to Congress in 2010. Our government today is controlled by a cabal of interchangeable thieves and liars who sacrifice principle for political expediency and run for office for personal gain. Our federal government trashes our Constitution, shreds our Constitution at times, tramples on the rights and liberties of individuals, and it ignores our citizens, our fellow citizens, when they demonstrate peacefully for a redress of grievances. Our nation is faced with three crucial priorities that demand immediate attention: jobs, the economy, and the deficit; health care; and energy independence. You and I both know that the best way and the most efficient way to solve these issues is by allowing the free market to function normally without government interference. And so that is the message that I would like to give to you today. As your representative in Congress, it is my duty to solve these issues as rapidly as possible within the framework of our Constitution. Obviously, the economy is of critical importance to all of us. There is a notion in Washington today that raising taxes and regulating business is going to produce a sustainable job growth and a very healthy economy. That has been proven wrong time and time again. If you raise taxes and you overregulate business, you kill jobs. Jobs go away because businesses need a free market economy in order to thrive. They need to have the capital to grow and hire new people. The only way they can do that is if government gets out of the way. We have a condition in this country now where there's a great deal of insecurity on the part of businesses. Businessmen are afraid to invest. They're afraid to invest in businesses because they don't know what the future will bring. There's a threat of much higher taxes. There's a threat of lots of regulation. And we all know that there's a real threat of hyperinflation that is going to inevitably occur with the amount of money that our federal government is printing, borrowing, and spending. All of these things kill jobs and kill business initiatives, and it's the absolute wrong way to deal with our economic problems. I have an ambitious agenda. Within the first 90 days of being your representative in Congress, this is what I would like to achieve. I would like to eliminate capital gains tax for at least a 2 to 3 year period. I would like to reduce corporate income tax, corporate tax to 10% or less. I think we must freeze all unspent TARP and stimulus funds. We have to reduce the harmful regulations that cripple our business. And I am also in favor of suspending all federal withholding taxes on income for a period of 6 months. These measures would give a permanence to a stimulating environment that will allow business to prosper, grow, and hire new individuals. As a practicing physician for 34 years, I can tell you that the healthcare bills currently in Congress have absolutely nothing to do with healthcare. Nothing at all. They're about a large government bureaucracy to take over our freedom of choice, and they will result in premature death for every single one of us except the very wealthy and people who work for the government. If you read through the health care bills and you know what is there, as I do as a physician, I can tell you that what they are trying to do is to restrict how much money is available to pay for health care. And when they do that, that means rationing of care will occur. Government panels are just another name for bureaucrats deciding who will get care and who will not get care. If you're not among the chosen few, you're not going to get care. If you're too old when you break your hip, sorry, you're not going to get that hip replacement. I also have a solution for health care. And that solution involves allowing the free market to function normally the way it ought to. Let's take insurance. First of all, we should be able to have competition all around the country for insurance policies, just like you do for your automobile. And speaking of automobile insurance, wouldn't it be a great thing if you could own your own health care policy? Why should your employer be the one to own your health care policy? What has he got to do with your health? Absolutely nothing. If you owned your own health care policy, then you could decide what kind of coverage you wanted. Do you want a high deductible, a low deductible? What kind of coverage do you want for what diseases? So that would bring down the cost of your insurance because you could tailor it to your specific needs. Tort reform must be part of any reform of healthcare. I can tell you in my own practice, a good number of tests that I do and examinations are merely to make sure that if I were to get sued, I've had a ton of evidence that showed that I did everything humanly possible to diagnose and treat a specific disease. We also have to have a realization and an acknowledgement that a bad result in medicine is not malpractice. If you have a surgical procedure with an 80% success rate, that means 20% of the people who have that operation are not going to get better. That's not malpractice. That's medical care. Medicine is part art and part science. The part that is art, we can't control. So it's unfair to punish a physician when you know that a certain percentage of patients just aren't going to get better. You also have to have an increase in availability of tax-free health savings accounts. And you also need a nationwide pool for insurance pool for high-risk individuals. Those are the kind of solutions that would solve our healthcare problems. And there are some. I'm not saying that the healthcare system is perfect, but we do have the finest healthcare system on earth. Our survival rate for cancers is better in this country than anywhere else in the world. That's why people who are wealthy, even from countries in which have socialized medicine, they come here to get cured when they have cancer.
Thank you, Dr. Eichenbaum.
Pardon?
We're just over the 7-minute mark.
So I want to thank you very much. I didn't get to energy independence. Maybe some questions will come up. But I'm very, very happy to be here. We are at a crossroads right now in our country. And I want to make sure that we don't take the path of big government, big spending, and limited freedom and liberty. we need to abide by the rules and the laws in our Constitution. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Krause.